Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about FM25. It's dangerous territory at the moment to do so, but I'm going to attempt to maybe give you a better understanding and on a couple of the points that a lot of people made regarding the, obviously, delay announcement till March. Go through a few points. I've got to show you a reply to a tweet that it just tickled me, and I would like to do a dramatic reading of it, if I may. And a couple of other bits, including content creation, which we'll get to in a minute. So let's get on with it. Let's go through a few points. Also, before we get into it, no hate to anyone here. Please don't go and reply to tweets or attack people or anything. A lot of these people, even though they're angry, have legitimate points they want to make and stuff. So there's no, I'm just using these as examples. A lot of these have been tweeted hundreds of times in replies and stuff. But this is the first one. Just release an official transfer update for FM24 and skip a year and make sure FM26 is the best it can be. Bitten off more than you can chew, and it's backfired. That last bit, I probably agree with. Obviously, it's taken them much longer. So this is the most popular comment I have seen in replies to the official announcement and everything else. Now, in a world where the consumer is everything and is the most important thing, in a perfect world, this would be probably the correct thing, right? Do a little update all the transfers and stuff like that, and then maybe try and fix a couple of bugs, if you could, and then just wait another 6 months till the new game comes out, right? That's perfect for all of us, probably. But the problem here is they are a company, and they are a large company now, and they are a company that makes one product. That makes it impossible to just go, you know what, let's skip a year. So it sucks, but it kind of has to be done. Not only do you have... So, just if you don't know, Sports Interactive, the people that make the game, are owned by Sega, okay? So, the big boys at Sega... By the way, I know nothing of this, by the way. I absolutely know no insider information. I literally got a message, I think a month ago, from Sports Interactive asking me if I wanted to join one of their online chats, probably just about the game before they were the delays and stuff, and I forgot the email and didn't see it for a week, and then I replied afterwards and said, hey, I saw, any chance I could do the call? And then I forgot to check the... Don't worry about it. So I just know I've got no insider info. But Sports Interactive, financial year end, April, licenses running out, and I'm assuming April. They need a game out. Sports Interactive need a game out. They can't sustain an entire year off. It's just so. Although for us as the consumers of the product, it would be great. I think it would be the ideal solution. They just can't do it. They can't financially sustain a model where they just skip a year by accident because they didn't get it done in time. It sucks all round. But the good thing is, for anybody that is in that position that is just like, nah, that's ridiculous, it's too late, just don't buy FM25. Oh God, I'm just going to get confused by years now. Don't get FM25 and download a database, which there are tons of, and loads of good people in the community are making amazing database updates. So just get one of those, continue playing as you were, if you really don't want to get involved in that. It sucks, but it is business at the end of the day, and that is part of the reason why I think. Well, we'll get onto it. We'll move on to it. I'm just going to do the whole thing in one go. So let's go move on to the next tweet. So this from FM Director: when you shared the trailer and roadmap recently, did you believe you could release the game on 26th of November? Transparency with the community is always important. You've been posting for weeks as if you were going to release the game, but the situation is now negative. This, I think this sort of sums up a lot of our feelings, right? Even if you're gutted about the game, I think but it happens in gaming, right? All the time, literally all the time. So many games are getting delayed to the point where, like, just don't give a release date until you know. But that's getting aside. This is probably the worst thing they've done, right? it sucks. We know that nobody's just slacking in the office, and that's why the new FM's delayed. They've probably been under horrible crunch. It's probably been a horrible time for everybody in the office at Sports Interactive. We don't know why there was this situation where they start talking about the game. Are they still hoping at this point? And then they announce pre-orders. Are they still hoping they can get it done? Probably not. My best guess, and this is totally a guess, you have Sega, the big daddy. They rely on one of the most consistent incomes in gaming. Football Manager is one of the most consistently climbing games in gaming. They know they're not going to have a year when they sell half the amount if it's because guys like us we'll buy it because we put hundreds of hours into it. So even if it's not the best, we'll still put hundreds of hours into it and buy it and stuff. So, but my best guess in this situation is that lack of communication. I think marketing probably got given their own roadmap. Hey, on this date, release the announcement, the official release date. On this day, release the roadmap blog thing. On this day, put pre-orders up. And like I said, this is total guesswork, just an educated guess, is that Sega have been fighting it. So I think Sports Interactive have been going, this game's not ready. Look, if we release it, it's just going to be quite like buggier than normal. And Sega's like, no, but you've got to release it this year. That's madness. You have to release it this year. And they're like, no. Okay. And they've been forced into this corner. So they've done the pre-orders, they've done the release date and stuff. And I think whether Miles has flown to Japan and gone, is Japan Sega right? Don't know. Flown to Japan and gone, look how messed up this game is. Look, we cannot possibly release it. And then Sega have begrudgingly said, okay, fine. But it has to be before year end, financial year end, April. It has to be. We need to include it in our numbers. Like I said, I'm guessing, I'm trying to put the pieces together and stuff. But I think something along those lines has happened. Or the other sort of minor version is that I'm going to very much simplify. I don't know games development very well. But they've talked about the fact that a lot of stuff you can kind of essentially cut and paste from their game engine to the Unity. So UI being not one of them, rebuilt from the ground up to sit in Unity and do all the things. Maybe the internals of the game engine is a thing they thought they could cut and paste, and they got to the point where it just wouldn't work, and they've decided that we have to start from the ground up within Unity rather than trying to bring across some aspect of the game, something like that. But like one of those things is going to be close to the truth, but the problem is the lack of communication and the lack of realization was like, can we not just put the pre-releases back a week while we're in negotiations with Sega? They still absolutely fucked up, and they deserve massive blame for how they've handled this whole thing, which is, to me, is the suckiest bit. But that's my guess on it. I would love to know. Speculate in the comments. Be polite, but speculate in the comments why it went like it did. But let's move on to the next one. I'll just randomly, because I clicked on this tweet just to get the screenshot, and the first reply was, you're just bothered about making money off the game. Content creators' opinions on this are irrelevant. So you probably should just stop watching now. But if you do want to watch, and we'll talk about content creators, that's going to be the spicy bit later on. I might need a bulletproof vest for that one, because I've seen some of the comments. Woohoo! Another one of the big ones. This logo, terrible. I know they went for, oh, look, it says FM and it's a football. It looks like one of those old leather footballs. Yeah, don't care. That's terrible. It's just terrible. Now, this is just a fun one, okay? This is my dramatic reading, okay? And so, Dr. Benji, obviously, massive creator, well-known in the community. This is, I think, after the first delay was announced. Was it the month delay or whatever? But before the big delay, he tweeted, quite innocuously, quite normally, it's a genuine question. If you're currently cross or angry, disappointed, or let down by the about FM25, can I ask why? Genuinely curious if it's misplaced or if people are rightly put off FM25 for legit reasons. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, nice conversational tweet. Great. I read the reply, top reply. Bitch, it's a complete backtrack and a reversal. Suck a dick with your engagement farming bullshit, you piece of shit. And I don't know what got me about that, because it's the most like angry reaction to like the most non-tweet tweet of all time, and it just tickled me, right? But I just had to get it because it just made me laugh. Right, on to the next proper one. Okay, future me, when you're editing this, can you maybe put a bulletproof vest on me? That would be good, because might need it for this one. So, content creators, me being one, also bear in mind, anything I say is irrelevant per the previous tweet. I saw on socials that a lot of the content creators were getting sort of quite heavy backlash. And you're thinking, well, we've got nothing to do with the game. That's weird. So I was like, okay, let me just grab a few screenshots. And I went over, because I know Luke took quite heavy fire for this. Omega Luke is, another big YouTuber, really good content creator, and an amazing wrestler, by the way. He says, and now I'll read it through, and then we'll pick it apart and look at some of the replies. I know this sucks, but it's also a time to really support your favourite creators during the delay. Myself and others who rely on this game as a full-time gig account a huge amount of our yearly income on this game releasing in November when YouTube ad rates are at their highest. It's going to be a struggle for any creator, so please keep watching, sharing their stuff, and if you are able to, we all have Patreon and YouTube channel memberships with added benefits that you can enjoy. I do have Patreon, but you don't get any added benefits, just so I'm a great salesman. And hopefully, when this game eventually drops, we will still be able to give you as much free entertainment as we possibly can. Thank you for everyone who continues to do those things anyway. It's really appreciated. Right now. So firstly, Luke is a good guy. I'm not the biggest fan of this tweet. I know he's not factually not begging for money, but when the game that we all love has just been delayed, it sucks for everybody. Whether you're just a player, a content creator, like I said, working in Sports Interactive itself, that just must be hellish at the moment. So I can get why this tweet in particular might rile people up. Just to say you are aware, what he says about the releasing in November and YouTube ad rates. Obviously, the game releases in November, so we all get a massive jump in viewership because obviously new game, and it coincides with the Christmas advertising period where ad rates double, triple sometimes. Hugely up, so he's right. It is a huge chunk of our yearly income. This is the boom times, if you will, for content creation. I just don't think it's the right time. I know he says if you have the means, you can support your creator. I just don't think it's the time to do that. But the main point I'm getting across, lots of sort of people have talked about it, and I agree with his thought. It is just before you attack me. It is sucky for content creators, right? Totally. It's sucky for viewers of content creators. You all want to watch the new game and stuff, right? But anyway, so I just wanted to get this as an example. I think Luke could have maybe timed this better or just reworded it a little bit different and maybe not, talked about all those things. But like I said before, Luke means no harm by this. It's his honest thoughts. And everything he said is factually true, but yeah, okay. So let's have a look at a couple of the replies to this tweet. Hopefully everyone can pull together and you and other YouTubers won't have to go to work at a real job for a few months. Unthinkable, really. Okay. Get a fucking job like everyone else, you lazy cucumber. Don't make a video game your fucking job. There is your lesson, lol. Not the developer's fault, you have no life skills. I feel like that's an excess added on. Like, you've made your point and then it's like a little, I don't know, jab in the nuts. Like, Luke's got loads of life skill. Okay, but that's random. Right, okay. I need a drink, hang on. How do I do this? Okay, as I said, okay, we've cleared up. Factually, it does really hurt content creators, okay? And I know many of us are in an incredibly privileged position. If you just think of the basic concept of I get to play Football Manager and record it and make money from that. I am the luckiest boy alive. I've been doing it years now, and it's an honour, a privilege, and something I've never for a single second taken for granted that I get to do this. However, it is a real job. Bear in mind, even the most successful, Zealand, like big YouTubers, usually had to grind for years before they made any money. If you don't know, I'm not even sure what the limitations are, but for YouTube, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of watch time. Both are quite large amounts before you can even monetize. For my first 2 years, I'm always wary about talking this because immediately it's like, oh, boo-hoo you. I'm just giving you the facts, okay? Don't shoot me. Got a bulletproof. I don't even know how to do that in editing. I'm a simpleton. Ooh, okay. Well, there'll be a bulletproof vest there, maybe. But that you don't need. It is a real job. I spent 2 years, 3 years, and I think in the first maybe 3 years, and I really blew up for YouTube. I did well. I maybe earned from YouTube about £2,000 in about 3 years, doing average between, it varied, but like 40 to 60 hours a week. So you really do have to put in the groundwork to make it work. And I am lucky enough that I got to that just about making a living stage. But many don't and have tried and failed. You have to work your ass off. So it always makes me a little bit upset. And I know some people are just jealous, like, let's face it. But like, it does take a lot of work, you know. And also that last tweet about don't rely on the game to, and this is also any content creator that has mentioned this in any way has had the same sort of replies. This is not just a Luke thing. Anyone, because I'm incredibly lucky, so therefore I can't complain. It's like if you see a movie star complain about something in life. It's like, you're a millionaire. They can still have a problem. It's okay. So, but it is hard to talk about as a content creator because, like you see, if you mention it, you get jumped on. But it is a proper job. It does take a bunch of time. And the whole relying on one game, that's weird. That's like saying if this guy worked at McDonald's and his branch closed down or they were reducing the workforce and they said, sorry, mate, we're going to have to let you go. That's like me saying, oh, suck it. Well, you shouldn't have relied on McDonald's then. You shouldn't have. Why are you relying on one company when you don't have any control on that company? That's a weird sort of false argument. And I know for a fact the vast majority, especially my community, but any sort of more newer people, hello, new people, are watching this video, that it will be tough to sort of talk about it and stuff. So, but most people are incredibly fine with it and they totally understand and they get it and are incredibly supportive. Obviously, I'm just talking about outliers here. But this is sort of a bigger picture thing, allow content creators to also complain about things. Like if they're just banging on or begging for money or whatever it is, totally get it. You know, that's fine. Like, get them. But generally speaking, I'm excited. At the root of it, the reason I am a FM content creator is because I love Football Manager. I've always loved Football Manager. If I wasn't making content creation, my spare hours would all be making Football Manager. I've been trying to work out what I'm going to do for the next few months. I'm like, well, I could just do some other let's plays for the next 5 months and stuff. I'm like, and I'll try and do some other stuff because I enjoy other games. But there will be a point in about a month or two where I'm just desperate to play Football Manager again because I'm an addict. Okay? I've admitted it. I've been playing since the original game because I'm old and I am an addict and it's a problem. Luckily, I made it my job. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone well. But yeah, cut people a bit of slack. And like I said, Luke didn't mean anything by this, but the point I'm trying to make is that anybody mentioning losing money as a content creator, it sucks for everyone. If my mate Jim said, oh, I've got a pay cut, I'd be gutted for him for any reason. It sucks. So have a little bit of compassion. Like I said, the main thing that I've seen from everybody is the just drop a version. Just don't come out with FM25. Just wait a year. And in a perfect world, that's probably the correct thing to do. You could even do it like release a DLC for FM24 that's just a data, charge a £5, so maybe bring in some money or whatever, and that might be a bit of an understanding, a little bit more understanding from people and stuff. But unfortunately, account, giant business that makes one product has to come out with that comes out with a yearly product, has to come out with that product yearly. They just can't miss a year. What I'd like to see happen, do you remember when a Football Manager, this is a few years ago, that Football Manager used to give you a discount based on whether you had previous versions? What I'd like to see, in my plausible business brain, that, okay, it could help us, but also make sense for business, is that FM25 comes out in March, is a normal, full-price game. Hopefully it's really good. They got less excuses about bugs and stuff. Hopefully it's really good. And then when November rolls around and FM26, they do the same thing they did before. Because there's a shorter time frame. Hey, look, you get 20% off if you owned FM24. I think it 25. It makes sense, because if you're an FM24 player now and you decide to skip because of this delay and stuff, or maybe, because it could be really buggy, then you don't get that discount. You're just buying a game 2 years apart. That makes sense. But if you do try, buy the game, FM25, then you should maybe get a 20% discount for FM26. Or I think that's the best way. You could just make FM26 a little bit cheaper, but whatever. I think they should do something. Lastly, I don't know if anybody from Sports Interactive will be watching this video, but my thoughts go out to you, because now we know all this, and we've seen the delay and then the big delay, and I know a lot of people that have social media accounts linked to them working are probably getting a lot of shit and stuff, and the stress that you've probably been under and the crunch and sort of seeing the game that you've been working on so hard just not... You see the finish line coming and you're like, we are not ready. We are not ready. That's just absolutely got to suck. So if my heart goes out to you, keep working hard. The audience will still be here for FM25. I think sales-wise it'll take a dip, but I don't think it'll be hellish. But yeah, just hopefully you can come out with a really, really good game for FM25. But there you go. There's my thoughts summed up. Feel free to counter any point I've made, discuss. Remember, all my thoughts are irrelevant anyway. But feel free to counter any points I've made. Talk about, just speculate of how this worked out with the pre-orders. That's what fascinates me. Whether it's just like the marketing team aren't talking to the development team that aren't talking to Sega, and it's just... I can't imagine it being that bad. I feel like somebody might mention it. I feel like it's more like what I said before. But if we could all keep it civil, that would be great. And just remember, in this difficult time, I do have a Patreon, right? And for your valuably earned money in a proper job, I will give you, wait for it, nothing extra at all. So, good, isn't it? Like I said, it sucks for all of us, and I know a lot of these people are just angry and lashing out and stuff, and it's social media. That's why I don't post on social media anymore. I check it every now and then for like the news, especially Football Manager stuff. But there's a reason I don't post on social media anymore, and I'm a lot happier for it. I think more people should give it a try. So if you take anything from this, don't use social media. Right. Thank you as always. I will be releasing a video next week just talking about my plans and stuff for the future. I have a very big announcement to make shortly that has to do with a brand new channel. I'll give you a clue. Woof. That's all I can say. That won't give anything away. Thank you very much for watching me, and always thank you. I'll say on behalf of all content creators, thank you very much for supporting us. Through the, I can't make the joke again. Thank you very much for supporting us over the years. It's incredible that people do in the first place. And like I said, I don't know of any content creators that are full-time that aren't just the most grateful people to be in that position. Yes, they all worked their arse off to get there, but they know how lucky they are. We all know how lucky we are. So that's the main thing I want to get across. And also, FM, sort your logo out. Okay? Sort your logo out. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Get chatting. I really want to see the replies. Keep it civil. Might as well ask. See you next time. Bye-bye. I'll take the bulletproof vest off now, please. how the fuck am I going to edit that in? I don't know any animation shit.